Hello, everybody. BadWeatherFreak here. Here we have the weekly update of the 2022 hurricane season. Today is August 24th, 2022, and it is roughly 12:25 p.m. in the eastern coast of the United States. Now, what you're seeing right now is satellite imagery, and there's a few areas that we're looking at here. We have this broad area that's the main thing, or one of the main focus. Let me rephrase that. One of the main focus of the current time. That's one area. The other area that we are watching is this here. As you can see, some outburst or thunderstorm activity is starting to develop there. And overall, if you look at the whole map, there is plenty of thunderstorm activity. But right now, those are the areas that we're watching. Of course, we're watching the Caribbean as well, and I'm gonna explain a little bit more why. Now let's take a look at the. Let me take this off. So let's take a look at the surface analysis. This is La Nina. As you can see, has gone stronger. It just keeps dipping and kind of flatline here around August 24th, and it's looking like it wants to kind of pop up a little bit. In other words, start weakening again. It's possible, and I'm going to show you why. But now, again, one thing to keep in mind is we are very, very close to the peak of the hurricane season, which is mid-September. So we're about 3 weeks away, roughly. But this is something we need to keep monitoring. Now, overall conditions in the Atlantic, here's the United States, here's Florida, here's Cuba, and some of the islands. Overall, at least from the Eastern Caribbean all the way, Eastern Atlantic all the way to south of Cuba, conditions are fairly favorable. The Gulf of Mexico right now, not so much. But again, this updates frequently, this changes. But right now, cyclone formation, it could be favorable, but we'll see how things do change. There is this other chart that I wanted to show you, and as you can see here, these are the areas that we're watching. That's that wave, big wave that we're looking at. Let me see, where was it? Well, basically here. There's another map here, and you see, so the National Hurricane Center is actually watching a few waves. There's another one here. Now this is not updated. This is at 8 a.m. So probably at 2 p.m. we'll get another update. We'll see what's happening with this. This here, I'm pretty sure that for the next update they're gonna bump up potentially from a 20%. They're gonna bump that up more because the fact that is looking pretty impressive. This one I'm not sure yet, because when we look at the radar, it doesn't really look like it's actually it has actually, it's not much of it actually. Let's go back. It has plenty of fuel, of course. You can see the 26 degrees Celsius. Almost everything is much more warmer than that. So it's, again, from a sea surface temperature perspective, yes, definitely things could spark up. But let me go back to this here. So you can see there's nothing. So now it could be this area that we're seeing here, what the National Hurricane Center is actually keeping an eye on. But I'm more interested in what is happening here and also here. This is closer to home. Now, as you guys saw on the other chart, of course, this says it's not favorable as we speak. But again, we're getting so close to the peak of the season that we need to watch every single wave. Now, I show you that one already. Same thing with this one. So let's read what the National Hurricane Center as of the 8 a.m. in the morning said. Regarding this area, it's saying that the shower and thunderstorm activity remains disorganized, associated with a tropical wave located a few hundred miles southeast of the Windward Islands. Environmental conditions could become more conducive for slow development of the system in several days after it crosses the Windward Islands and moves across the eastern and central Caribbean Sea late this week into early next week. So yes, this is very true. All this here, from probably everything here until almost the Gulf of Mexico, see, south of Cuba, all this here is actually conducive right now. Once it crosses this, that's where we need to find. We'll find out soon, but we need to keep an eye on that. Now, as far as the further one to the east, which is again what I'm kind of catches everybody's eyes because it's so massive. The tropical wave is forecasted to move off the west coast of Africa in a day or two. Environmental conditions could support some slow development of the system late this week or over the weekend. So one thing to keep in mind is that the further west that these waves get before developing or intensifying, the more of an opportunity they're going to have to intensify and continue to move west. A lot of the times when the storms do get so strong, they start to, in a sense, kind of like not creating their own environment, but in a sense they do. So a lot of the times, some steering patterns, yes, it does affect them, but a lot of the times they are more prone to start curving up and kind of disrupt the patterns a little bit. So the weaker it is, the further west that is going to continue to move. Now, let's take a look. There was another thing I wanted to show you guys, which is they updated for the... See, actually, let's take a look this here. I mean, you can see how much this area, you see what I was saying, that this is closer to home. You can kind of see a little vorticity here is kind of spin up. And now the majority of the cloud convection is on the east side, but this is something we need to also watch for potential development. Now, let's take a look at another chart. It was the MJO, what I wanted to show you. Yeah, here it is. Because this keeps fluctuating, and I don't understand why. Probably conditions are changing drastically, but it keeps pushing further out and further out. And as you can see right now, even through the peak of the season, this brownish color means it's less, it's drier, it's less favorable. And right now, it's looking like towards the end of September and early October is when we should start seeing an uptick on tropical activity. But again, it keeps getting pushed. Because a few weeks ago, it was early September, late August to early September. Then it was kind of like mid to late September. Now it's late September to October. It keeps fluctuating when the activity is supposed to start happening. But let's take a look at another map here that I don't typically show. But this is the upper heat content. This is very important as well. As you can see, south of Cuba, very, very, very tons of energy, tons of heat in the ocean. So that's why the National Hurricane Center is watching that wave that is around here, that once it gets passes the Windward Islands, tons of heat content to strengthen basically. Now let's take a look at the models, the forecasting models as well. The GFS has been on a rampage for the last, I don't know how many weeks, probably 4 to 6 weeks, wanting to develop a lot of things. Well, it has been for a while. It had a storm kind of just forming here, becoming a hurricane, blasting through the islands, making it into the Gulf of Mexico, and slamming the Florida Panhandle. Then it switched over. It was more further south and kind of going this way. Then, as of this morning, I think it was kind of brushing the East Coast and going this way. And the very latest run, which it was that I saw at least, which it was maybe a couple hours ago or maybe an hour ago, it's just basically nothing. Just it's barely starting to develop here. Now let's actually take a look and see what it's starting to do now. And as you can see, about 3 days out, a low system pressure that's most likely that big disorganized or big, it's still disorganized, but big area of the coast of Africa that is has a lot of precipitation. Now, if we move forward in time, you kind of see that right off the bat in the coast of Africa, a storm kind of develops. And that's basically it. I mean, there's like another little area here that wants to develop, but there's tons of moisture. There's a couple of high pressures. So depending how strong these high pressures are, this system may kind of go a little bit more this way. But the fact that it's this far north already, usually they just go up. The further south, the more of a chance it has to affect the islands and come on this way. Now let's take a look at the Canadian model. Now the Canadian model basically, whoops, sorry about that. kind of showing something over here, but not really much. The European model, just about the same. But instead of going this way, it kind of goes further west. Again, not a whole lot happening, so that's another thing that we have to watch. But I wanted to show you one more thing, and it's I use this app called My Radar, and I have the paid version, so it's the ad-free, which is obviously it allows you to see the whole screen without annoying ads. But if you guys haven't seen this app before, please check it out. It's really, really interesting. It has a lot of resources and tools that you can use. Now, I'm going to zoom out because it is very, very interesting. It shows earthquakes. Now, this app here, with how many earthquakes are in the world, I mean, it surprises you, because I didn't have a clue that there were so many storms, as you can see up here, but earthquakes. Now you can zoom in anywhere. You can click on the little icon, earthquake icon, and it tells you what happened, where was it, and how strong was it. And it's a very interesting app. Now, as you can see here, there is a storm, tropical storm, kind of heading towards. I believe this is Whoops, what was that? Vietnam, it looks like it. Yeah. And tons of precipitation. You got the Philippines over here. There's another system kind of east of Japan. See, Japan is as well. It's another area, the Pacific, part of the Pacific Rim, where a lot of earthquakes happen. But this is an area, a hurricane or a typhoon, I should say, because they call it typhoons in this area, not hurricanes, but going basically to the middle of nowhere. And then a couple areas watching again, closer to home, at least to us, in the Pacific, a little area, 0% chance of development. The areas that the National Hurricane Center is watching, 20% on that one, 20% on this one. Now, let me do a little bit of a zoom in. This is the area that, I was interested on. And then, let me show you a couple of thunderstorms and showers in the southern part of the United States. Lake Charles, Louisiana. So you can see a couple of flash flood warnings for the next 2 hours and 23 minutes. And these are affecting southwestern Allen Parish, southern, Beauregard Parish, Calcasia. Sorry ahead of time if I'm butchering some of these names, but I'm not familiar with these names here. And then south central Newton County and northeastern Orange County in Texas as well, being affected by these thunderstorms. One thing to keep in mind is these grounds are already saturated because of a couple system or a bad system that actually flooded Dallas, and a lot of rain still happening. Now Alexandria, this is 52-minute remaining, another flash flood warning. And areas affected are Alexandria, Pineville, Glenmora, Alexandria International Airport, Hindstone, Effie, Ball, Lecompte, Elmer, Kingsville, Tioga and Colin, Garner, Paradise, Timber Trails, Poland, Otis, Levis, Ruby, and Echo. So those are some of the areas that are going to be affected. It's moving southeast, heading towards Baton Rouge. Some more rain, some potential flooding. New Orleans as well. Another area here in Jackson. There's a flash flood warning for the next 3.5 hours roughly. And this is affecting the Jackson 2, Flowood, and Brandon area. So same thing. Be careful, guys. A lot of warnings. But you guys saw what happened in Dallas. Unfortunately, a 60-year-old lady died because of the floodings. Tons of rescue had to be done. So please stay safe and heed the warnings of your local meteorologists and your weather centers. Now let's take a closer look here in the Destin area in Florida, in the Florida Panhandle. So we have a special marine for the next 51 minutes as some strong storms going that way. Potentials for water spouts. This is something that is typical in the Destin area. If you guys saw on social media about last week or 2 weeks ago, there was a really, really big, actually, and strong water spout. Now, for heading towards the Apalachicola area, another special marine warning for the next hour and 20 minutes. And this one also going to affect Mexico Beach, which is the area that where back in 2018, where Hurricane Michael made landfall. So strong storms heading that way as well. So if you guys are in this area, Panama City, Apalachicola, Weehawken, Lynn Haven, Santa Rosa, Destin, all those areas, definitely be careful. So that's all I have for you guys right now. Just a quick update, a little bit of everything. We're watching the systems in the Atlantic, see what's going to happen. So, of course, any developments, I will keep you guys posted. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. Any questions, any concerns, you can always put them in the comment section below. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram at BadWeatherFreak. Thank you guys and have a good day.